I am the big tank.
On the battlefield of life, nothing's harder than a tank. Yeah, have you ever met a man, heart's full of love, bigger than a tank?
Big tank.
He served in a few wars, he's a veteran that stands for a cause. For the best interviews and news, just keep it glued to the tank.
I am the tank. Big
Big
tank.
Tank Talk.
Tank.
Big Tank Talk.
Tank.
Big Tank Talk.
Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Big Tank Talk. Today, I'm bringing in my best friend, Ronin. He is a rock star. He's a fabulous singer, songwriter, and musician. And he's a pretty amazing guy outside of that as well. So, Ronin, welcome to Big Tank Talk.
Thank you, brother. Glad to be here.
As always, you get the same first question everyone else does. Tell us a little bit about you and how you came to be on Clapper.
Sure, a
whether
little bit. There's a
originally or
lot
this
to
time.
tell, but how I came to Clapper was like a whole bunch of other people. I was a TikTok refugee, nothing but hate and anger over there, so I just decided to dump that and come over here. Found a lot better crowd, made a lot of good friends here, and I've been here for about 4 years now.
Outstanding. Okay, we'll just start with Ted's first question. What made you decide to become a musician?
Easy answer. I was watching a cricket in Times Square when I was a little kid, and I fell in love with the sound of that violin. I told my folks I wanted to play violin, so they bought me a Stradivarius copy.
Nice.
Got my violin, started learning violin, and I played violin for years and years after that. Then I taught myself how to play everything else. But I did take lessons from other people on a couple of things, drums and bass.
Okay, now I know you play multiple instruments. What would you say you're best at?
Oh, guitar, easily.
Karen wants to know when you started learning drums and guitar.
Guitar, I started playing at about 12 or 13, started getting really good at it at 14. And drums, I started picking up in about 2005.
So, Jimmy, I'm not going to ask any of Peter's questions. Ronan doesn't drink. He addressed that with Peter on Friday night. My next question: when did you realize you could write songs?
In my English history class and my English literature classes, I always got really great grades from my English history and English literature teacher. She said I could be a poet or a songwriter, either one. I knew how to form sentences and use grammar properly, that sort of thing.
Right on. Val wants to know, what was your first car?
My first car was a Ford Galaxy 500 two-door, powder blue with a white vinyl top. That thing had a 351 Windsor in it, and it was a screamer. Loved it.
Because everyone doesn't know you. What do you drive now?
Porsche, a little
Okay.
roadster, classic roadster.
Right, a car I couldn't sit in. Cool. Karen wants to know, how did you meet your wife?
I went to this place, and funny that I feature that video in the song Seductress, or that place called the Yucatan Liquor Stand. She was cocktailing. She was working 3 jobs at the time. And I laid eyes on her, and I'm like, that is one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. I got to get with that. So I asked her out. We started dating, and 6 months later, we were married.
That's awesome.
But we've been married now for 28, almost 29 years.
Paul wants to know, what's your biggest pet peeve in the music industry?
Oh, Jesus. The way everybody's ripping off artists, and I do mean everybody, from labels to these streaming services, just everybody's making a crap ton of money, and that's why so many artists end up broke.
That's for sure. Vamp, I'll get to your question in a minute. When you write, first I want to ask you this: when you write a song, do you write it for yourself, or do you write it with other people in mind, or is it a combination?
It's a combination of everything. Sometimes I'll hear a song in my head I've never heard before. I could be dreaming and dream of a song, and then I got to translate it into human sound.
Right on.
But usually, the seed can start from anywhere.
Understood. Van wants to know, what's your favorite Rush song?
Oh, geez, all of them. If I have to pick, honestly, I have chosen multiple times. Um, it would have to be Bravado.
It's a good one. Over your years of being a songwriter, you ever have writer's block?
No, no, not really.
Okay. Is your songwriting ever? Is it always fictional? Is it storytelling? Is it true to life, or is it a
It's a
mix of
mixture
both?
of everything. Like the song that I wrote for Promise, um, it it's about how she almost died. One of the songs I wrote for her is how she almost died giving birth to Lily. We almost lost her, and if it wasn't for my intervention, we would have.
Well, I'm glad you were there for her then. Ms. Tracy would like to know, do you like Queen?
Heck yes.
Right on. Man, the questions are coming fast. Besides Tank, who are the other creators you'd like to meet?
Oh, Britain, Blues, uh, Lou, Diamond Lou, who's actually not even on here anymore, Tank, um, everybody that's in the crew, that's in the crowd, that's always usually hanging together. I'd like to meet all of them.
Right on. Van wants to know if you have any regrets in life.
No, and I've already answered why, but I'll tell you again. Because if I changed one thing in my past that altered the trajectory of my life, I would not have met Promise, and I would have not have met Lily. And those two alone are worth all the bad shit that happened in my life, all of it.
Absolutely. I agree with that, brother. Ted wants to know, what's your favorite musical piece of all time?
Oh, Ted, you do ask a hard one. Um, would you believe it's a classical Italian piece?
Absolutely.
O Fortuna. If you've never heard O Fortuna, you need to hear O Fortuna.
Right on. Okay. When you write a song, what usually comes to you first, the melody or the lyrics?
It depends. It happens both ways. How I want it to sound will come later if I've come up with lyrics first. If I come up with the music first, then I usually have an idea of where I want to go lyrically.
Okay. Of the songs you've written, which one would you say most adequately expresses Ronin's vulnerability?
I don't know that I have any vulnerabilities because I just don't give a shit anymore. I developed a very, very strong sense of complete apathy towards idiots. Um, I don't think that I've ever written anything about any vulnerabilities, but the piece that means the most to me, spiritually, if you want to go that route, um, I think I made a video of it recently too. Matter of fact, I know I did. Oh Jesus, Tank, help me out. I'm having brain lock.
Was it is the one you named Ronin's song?
No,
No.
no, it's oh Jesus. Boy, that's embarrassing, forgetting the name of your own damn song.
Yeah, I don't really have a Rolodex to pull it up, but
Oh,
I
don't
can bring
worry
it up.
about it.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Paul wants to know, what's the biggest hurdle you face in the music industry?
Getting well known enough. Because without a label and without some serious push from like these platforms and stuff, hardly anybody knows you unless it's on the platform you're on and you make a lot of friends on there.
Right.
Because an indie artist or an indie band can really make it big if they get enough push.
Okay. So Jimmy wants to know, Does Beetle Bailey know you took his hat?
I stole this from. No, I'm just kidding. No, he doesn't. Matter of fact, he died years ago, so it's mine now.
Van wants to know what musician inspired you the most.
Vamp, I'm actually very sad that you had to ask that question. Rush, Saga, yes, Pink Floyd, Triumph, in that order. Or mix them up a little bit.
All right, before I get to Ted's question, I know you've met several well-known artists in the music business.
Mm-hmm.
Which one left the biggest impression on you?
It's going to have to be between Terry Nunn from Berlin or Nick Rhodes from Duran Duran.
Right on. Ted wants to know, what message do you have to the people that say your music is AI generated?
They can fuck right the fuck off, because I'm about to prove it's not. And I have played so many times that in front of people, I really just don't care.
Right on. Now, those of us that are your friends, we know you were part of a band. So Bugs wants to know, saying she says she doesn't think everyone knows you were in a band. Could you tell us how that was?
Yeah, it's the same name I'm going under now, Rhythm Fix, RhythmFyx. And I met the drummer when I was working at Honda, and my bass player was my nephew, Lee. Lee.
Right on.
And we were just a three-piece, but we rocked the houses, man.
So what happened with the band that you're by yourself now and using the name?
It is my understanding that Aaron was forced to quit by his ex-wife before she became his ex-wife. And then he sold all his gear, regretted it, and then years later got new gear and just started another project.
Understood.
When he left, Lee, of course, left, and Lee went in the Army, got his shoulder blown out, and now he's completely disabled.
Understand. Lana Garcia says, who's your favorite guitarist and why?
It's between one and two. It's David Gilmour and Alex Lifeson. Alex, because he is so versatile with everything he plays, and David Gilmour, because he is so clean with everything he plays.
For those of you that don't know, David Gilmour was part of Pink Floyd. Alex Lifeson was one member of Rush. Karen wants to know, she says she thinks she knows the answer, but why do you go by the name Ronin?
I hate the name Kevin. It's my name. I was my given name, but I hate it because I grew up with Kevin Schmevin or Kelvin and Schmelvin, stuff like that. My grandpa called me Ronin because I had a problem with authority the entire time I was growing up. And he said, "You're a Ronin. You're Ronin." So that's what I became.
Right on. Do you remember your very first guitar?
Yes, it was an Ovation acoustic roundback, shallow roundback. And then after that, I got a Quartz. It was a copy of a Steinberger. I got a Quartz Steinberger headless little white guitar with black knobs and stuff.
Right on.
Yep.
Do you have either of those now?
Oh, no. I traded those in or gave them away.
Okay. Lana wants to know, are you a Fender or a Gibson guy, and do you play 12-string?
I can play a 12-string. Sorry. I can play a 12-string acoustic. I am an Ibanez guy, but if I had to choose between Fender or Gibson, it would be Fender all day, every day.
All right. I have to ask, you last year gifted me with a beautiful white Ibanez guitar. Mm-hmm. Why did you do that?
Because I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
And because you were having such a hard time with that acoustic guitar, and it's hard on your back when you're over a big fat dreadnought, because that's what that is. And I wanted you to be able to play something that you could handle easier. It's thinner. It might be heavier, but it's thinner and fits your body better. Right. And that's another reason I want you to be able to play something.
Very much appreciated too. Bugs wants to know, if you could have lunch with anyone living or dead, who would it be?
I'm going to cry. My grandpa. Just an hour just to talk to him again.
Right on. All right, you're a musician, so I have to ask: analog or digital, and
Both.
why?
Both. Analog because it has more body. Digital because it's more. What's the word I'm looking for? You can do more with digital.
Versatility.
Versatility. Thank you. That's the word. Hey,
Okay.
Kimo.
Now, as somebody in the business, what's your thoughts on autotune?
I don't care if people use it or not. Doesn't make any difference to me.
Right.
Whatever makes them happy makes them sound good.
Absolutely. Bug says, seems your grandpa is your favorite person. What was the biggest? Was he the biggest influence in your life, and why?
I have two two biggest influences. Sorry, I'm dealing with congestion from these damn allergies. My grandpa and my uncle Tack. I had crappy parents. They know they were crappy parents. The other one that apologized was my father. I didn't want to turn out to be like one of them. All the trauma and all that. So I said, I'm not going to be like them. I'm going to be like Grandpa and Uncle Tack. My grandpa McLaughlin was one of the first Green Berets, was one of the most badass humans I've ever known. My Uncle Tack was one of the most together, intelligent people I've ever known. He was an engineer, and he was always calm. And no matter what he said, you knew it was a fact.
Was your grandpa badass grandpa big like you?
He's a little guy. He's a little guy like me. He took a bullet through the back of his neck.
Oh wow!
He took bullets through his entire freaking body just about and still survived. Nobody was able to kill that man.
Definitely sounds like a badass brother.
He fought in World War II, Korea, and also served as an advisor to the Green Berets during Vietnam.
Nice. Vamp wants to know what advice you would give to your younger self if you could.
Stay the course. Just do what feels right. Because I wouldn't want to change a thing.
Okay. Bugs wants to know how long does someone have to work on their pecs to look as good as you do?
About 10, 20 years probably. I don't know. 5 years. I don't know. Depends on how hard you want to push it.
Welcome in, Kevin. It's good to see you, brother. When you're playing, do you have a favorite key you play in, or does it matter?
Doesn't matter. Whatever fits the song the best.
All right. Steve asks, did Robert Johnson make a deal at the Crossroads, and do you think it started the 27 curse? The 27 Club curse?
That old story is so good. And I actually know somebody from England who's actually into the whole voodoo thing. And he knew a man that knew Robert Johnson. And he swears that story is true. And he also, the old black dude that was really good friends with him said he was at Johnson's house the night the devil came for him. Take that for what it's worth, but it's a possibility.
Right on. Paul wants to know if you could see a band live one more time, who would it be?
I've seen Rush a bunches of times, but I never got to see Pink Floyd live. So one more time would have to be the first time also. I'd love to see Pink Floyd, but that's never going to happen because they're almost all dead.
Right.
And Waters and Gilmore are never going to make up.
Can't understand why the groups that we grew up idolizing and listening to don't stick around as we get older.
Right.
Jimmy wants to know, what environment did you grow up in? City, suburb, or the sticks?
Combination of all.
Which was your preferred? I mean, which environment do you most prefer living in?
I'd say probably suburb. Easier to get to places.
Convenience makes a big difference in that. I agree. Now, anybody that knows you knows you're as proud a dad as there can be.
Mm-hmm.
Vamp wants to know what makes you proudest to be a parent.
As far as how Lily turned out, I don't think any parent could be more proud. She's an aerospace engineer working for one of the biggest aerospace companies in the world. But that's not what makes me most proud. What makes me most proud is I didn't become either of my parents. And she was raised with love and understanding, compassion, sympathy, empathy, and patience.
That's a big one. Patience is something a lot of parents lack. Karen wants to know, what's your favorite kind of music?
Oh, prog rock all day, every day.
Yeah, I could have answered it, but this is not you interviewing me. This is me interviewing you. So, do you remember the first time you played a live show?
Yeah, probably fifth grade with the orchestra in front of about 10,000 people.
Were you nervous?
Oh, yeah, but I got over it.
You know, in relation to that question, what's the biggest crowd you've ever played for?
Probably 15,000. That's a lot of peeps.
So how do you get over the nerves and settle into playing your stuff when you're in a crowd that big, in front of a crowd that big?
My first violin teacher taught me, if you know your stuff well enough, you're not going to be nervous. Practice, practice, practice.
Now, if you're playing in front of people, do you prefer a small, intimate setting, or would you prefer a big crowd?
Whatever gig I can get, baby.
Right on. Have you ever had a heckler when you were on stage?
I don't, I don't recall one because when we start playing, when we were an actual band, they shut the fuck up. Pardon my language. And I did have a couple of chicks try to get me to leave with them after a show, but I said no.
Right on. Kevin asks, who's your all-time favorite band?
Rush, Pink Floyd, Saga, Triumph,
Absolutely. Steve asks, John Bonham or Neil Peart?
Neil Peart all day, every day.
Yeah, he had no equal in my mind either. Val asks, who is your biggest fan? Please note she has several shovels.
Actually, no, it's Tank, and I don't care what you say, Val. Tank's my biggest fan. Right after Tank is my daughter and my wife.
That's a very honored place for me to be, and thank you. And I know you've written several songs. Which was the most difficult to write?
Honeydew.
Okay. And which was the easiest?
Oh, The Crow Will Fly Again. Took me an hour. Drums,
Right on.
bass, everything. Took me an hour.
Vamp says Lennon or Hendrix?
Lennon all day. Can't stand Hendrix.
Hey, Nay, welcome in. Sorry I took your question from you. Now, Ronin, you know I've been telling people for a lot of the time I've known you that you're a rock star. What would you say is the most rock star thing you've ever done?
Bought my Porsche.
Can't disagree with that. So,
Married a model.
now, considering those things, the fact that even though we both agree that many more people need to hear your music, what keeps you grounded with people showing you love for your music and everything else?
Because deep down, I'm just a regular dude. I grew up in regular town America, and I had as many problems in my life as anybody else, health, emotional, whatever. I'm just a human being, but I'm a human being that likes to play rock and roll, that likes to play music and loves to entertain people.
Right.
I'm just, like I've always said, I'm a goofball with a guitar.
Where's the most unique place you've ever played live?
Oh my. This 2-floor venue. We didn't expect anybody to show up because it was the middle of freaking January and there was a snowstorm going on. The place was still packed.
Awesome.
It was a double floor venue, and I mean, it was packed.
Bugs, you took one of my questions, but I'm going to ask it now anyway. Bugs says you're always cooking dinner. What's your favorite meal to cook, and what is Promise's favorite meal?
Well, chicken marsala with garlic bread and a nice, fresh, crisp salad. Her favorite meal of mine, the same one.
Right. Miss Tracy wants to know, what other jobs have you had in your life?
Oh, Jesus. A couple I can't talk about, but what I can talk about, I worked for Honda for years. I retired from there and I went back to school, got my IT degree, and I worked the rest of my time doing IT work.
And you're now retired and play music at your leisure, correct?
Yep.
Right on. I know you've already addressed it, but I want to ask this straight out. What is your thoughts on the current state of streaming services?
They're great for people to keep all their stuff in one place, but they suck for artists. And this is 100% fact. We make less than a cent per stream. That's where they're a ripoff for us.
All right. As a performer, songwriter, musician, what keeps you from becoming burnout?
Who says I haven't already been burned out? I've almost quit several times, brother. But I keep going because I love making music.
Right on. Paul says, are there any more albums in the fire, and will they go to CD?
Yes. Well, actually, they're not going to go to CD. They're going to go to download on Amazon or iTunes. And when I say Amazon.com, let me state this for the record. You have to go to Amazon.com, not the app, to buy the music, or go to iTunes. I have 2 albums I've already released that you already know are going to go bye-bye because I've redone both of them completely. I have enough music for 3 more albums on top of that.
Fortunately, I have the first 2 albums, so when they go bye-bye, it's not going to hurt my feelings. I still got them.
Yeah.
And I will have the new ones as they come out.
But
Bugs,
yeah, I've got 5 albums total worth of music.
Bugs wants to know, what's your favorite bug?
Bugs.
But
if she means actual bugs, butterflies and dragonflies.
Okay. Given that people can have incorrectly assumed that any of your music is AI generated, what is your thought on AI generated music?
I don't have a problem with it. You know why? Because most of the crap coming out from big labels nowadays sucks ass. So if somebody can make a better song using AI, it makes no difference to me.
If you were to have, say, on your next album, if you were told to choose one to release as a single, how do you choose which one you would release?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, if after you release your next album, somebody in the business comes to you and says you should release a single, how do you choose which one of that album you release as a single?
Whichever one people most liked on Clapper.
Yeah, because I would definitely be tough for me to go by because I like everything you do.
Yeah.
If you weren't a musician, what would you be doing now as a retired person?
Oh, geez. Probably painting or drawing or something. Because I also like to paint and draw.
Right on. Kevin Ashley says, how many times have you seen Simple Minds live?
I've never been able to see them in concert live because they've never come around to where I've been. But I love their music. Absolutely love them.
They are good. Ted wants to know, what's the best advice you've ever been given about music?
That's a very broad question, so I'm going to assume he means about playing music or writing music.
Yeah.
Practice, 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 and write from your heart.
All right. Karen wants to know if you have a garden.
No, I don't have a garden. I have a big yard, 1/4 acre, but I don't have a garden in it.
All right. What is how much of a difference do you think luck plays in having a music career versus hard work?
Oh, geez. It's not just luck. It's who you know or who you blow.
Yeah, I get that. So Vanilla Gorilla says, which band or artist did you really want to see but never got the chance?
Simple Minds would be one of them.
Right on. Karen says, why not? I guess it's regarding her garden question.
Because I'm too busy with other things.
Do you ever feel pressure to create more music, more content?
Yeah, but I don't know what for yet. Because the sales on the last two albums were kind of shitty. I almost gave up. But I decided to keep creating and keep trying. Maybe if I write better stuff, do better stuff. I've seen Queensryche, and I've not seen Simple Minds. But if I had to choose between the two, I would have to choose Simple Minds. And that's a tough choice to make. Granny.
This might be a no-brainer question for you, but do you believe music has power to change the world?
I do. If people only listen to the message, because I've seen people be influenced by screamer bands who go out and do violent shit. If they would actually listen to music that talks about love and creation and the wholeness of all and the better part of mankind, it would change the world. I mean, look what they did with Feed the World.
We Are the World, yeah.
Yeah, We Are the World and Feed the World. Yeah, I mean, look what they did with that.
Right on. What's a song that always makes you cry?
The song you played the other night, Honey, I could never perform that.
I've finally gotten to a place where I could actually sing it, though.
I wouldn't even try.
Okay. I missed Paul wants to know, what's your go-to music in your car?
Oh, it's a mix of everything. I can listen to Glenn Campbell 1 minute, and he's one of the few country artists I actually like. And I can switch to Typo Negative the next. I have such a huge plethora of different kinds of music. I can listen to orchestral music and go right to Rush or Floyd or whatever after that.
Do you like listening to Rhythm Fix?
I listen to my music all the time, brother. I love my music.
Yeah, I love your music too. Bam wants to know what you do to relax.
Meditate. I literally meditate.
So Bug says you're creating your own supergroup. You can form with any musicians here or gone. Who you playing with?
Oh, Jesus. Geddy Lee on bass, Neil Peart on drums, Nick Rhodes on keyboard, and me on guitar and singing, or I could switch places with the other guys.
Vanilla Gorilla says, who is the first name he cut out? I'm trying to remember what the question was that you named names for.
Oh, for the supergroup? Geddy Lee on bass, Neil Peart on drums, Nick Rhodes on keyboard, myself on guitar and singing, and I could switch out with the other guys.
Do you think that people inherently have talent, or can practice help create talent where people didn't really know they had any before?
It depends on what they're doing. Because if you're shitty at something and you're just really bad at it, all the practice in the world isn't going to do any good. However, if you have a penchant for doing something well, I think practice is all that you need.
Right on.
I would not want a ditch digger to be a brain surgeon.
Gotcha. Because they're going to end up digging a ditch that way anyway. So
yeah.
Just saying. What is your favorite guilty pleasure song?
I have several. Some of them are Duran Duran. Some of them are from Terry Nunn from Berlin. They're 80s sappy, new wave type stuff and whatever. But I can't get enough of them. Depeche Mode. I freaking love Depeche Mode.
This is a good time for this question. Would you like to play a song for us?
Sure. Give me a minute.
y'all, while he's getting set up, if you have questions, please write them down and hold on to them. When we get done with that, pause will be the next question I ask. But at this time, once he's set up, we're just going to let Ronin have the stage, and all attention is to him.
And just so you know, so I don't lose my place, I'm going to be playing along with myself. Don't think of that the wrong way.
No problem, brother.
Make sure I'm still in tune here. Close to me, embrace and touch and calling me. She's the calm and summer rain, washing over me. Her essence smells of amber green, perfume, passion, ecstasy. She knows every secret inside of me. She is temptress, seductress, lady in red. She's a passion play inside my head. She has no bounds and no regrets. She's the cost of love and all its debt. Sweat glistens on her skin. Dancing dreams now haunt me again. Candles burning in her den of desire. My lust for the lady, my only desire. She is temptress, seductress, lady in red. She's a passion play inside my head. She has no bounds and no regrets. She's the cost of love and all its debts. It's spinning round and round, a pirouette of desire unbound. I'm helpless in this dance lust. Seductress won, my heart is dust. She is temptress, seductress, lady in red. She's the passion play inside my head. lost love and all its debts. There you have it.
I wish I had my mixer hooked up for give you the applause you deserve. That was brilliant.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much for that.
I hope it sounded as good as it does when you hear it on Clapper or whatever.
Now, what I'd like to ask you is I know you don't play live almost never on Clapper anymore. What's it going to take for somebody to get you to play live now?
Shit ton of money. Like if some venue wanted me to play there, they would have to pay me a shit ton of money, and they would have to give me time to get an actual band together because I do all this shit by myself.
And you
I
do
have
it
a
well.
production team after I'm done recording that makes it all sound amazing.
Yeah, but anyway, they can only make it.
If anybody says my shit's AI, that just proved that they're full of shit.
I would say this: your production team can only make it sound amazing if they got an amazing song to work with.
Well, that helps, yeah. Thanks, Steve.
All right, Paul's question. Can you name a group that became stars that you don't think deserved it?
Yeah, but I'll probably piss off a lot of people. Green Day.
I can't disagree with
opinion.
it. I agree. I think the Green Day's high point was when they were in the Simpsons movie and they sank in that lake. Anyway, Ted wants to know, what advice would you give to an aspiring musician?
Practice, practice, practice. And try to come up with your own stuff. Don't learn a bunch of other people's stuff. Learn a few songs from different genres and then start writing your own music, because you're going to run into a problem. And it's the best advice I ever got from a guitar teacher that I didn't take lessons from. The more songs you learn of other people, when you go to try to write a song, you're going to go, oh man, that sounds too much like this. Or that's the same chord progression as this. Don't worry about what somebody else does. There are only so many chords you can play on a guitar.
Right.
There are only so many notes that you can play on a bass or a violin, and so many things you can play on drums. Write your own thing from your own heart, from your own soul. Make it your own, and it will sound like your own.
Right on. How would you define what makes a song a good song as opposed to so-so?
Oh, wow. Arrangement. Yeah. Really good sound engineer. You know, that sort of thing. And good lyrics, not just like this wet ass pussy shit that some of these people are putting out. That's insane. That's not good music, you know?
Absolutely. Bug says, instead of them eliminating music programs from schools, what should they eliminate from the schools if to save money?
Anything that has to do with DEI.
I can't disagree with that. What makes a good collaborator, musical collaborator?
Oh, somebody who's versatile and open-minded. Like there were a couple of songs that I struggled on with when I was writing with Aaron and Lee, that it was the drummer that made it clearer how it needed to sound, because he had the right beat for it. I was like, shit, that works better. So we did it his way, and it worked out better.
Becky M23 says, would you rather be in the studio or in front of a live audience?
Both. I like both environments. I love playing for people, but at this point in my life, unless I'm getting paid a lot of money, I'm not playing in front of people. You're a special person. I'll play for you anytime.
And that means more than you possibly know, brother. Steve wants to know, who would you like to see actually play the next Super Bowl halftime show?
Wow. Rush with the new drummer, Annika Niles. Their tickets are too pricey for me to buy.
Okay. Red Rose asks, Do you start with lyrics, a melody, or a feeling?
Both, Rose. Actually, all three. As I stated before, sometimes I'll get a song in my head and I have to transfer that into something playable for humans to listen to. And sometimes it'll be lyrics, and sometimes it'll just be a mood that I'm in, and I just start writing.
Right. Paul wants to know if you could have collaborated with anybody, who would you have chosen?
Oh, anybody from Pink Floyd to Rush to Triumph to Saga, any of those big prog rock groups.
Rooster wants to know, what's your favorite thing about Clapper?
I'm sitting right next to him.
Thank you, brother. How do you handle ego during rehearsals when you're part of a band?
Um, Ego was never really a thing when I was playing with Aaron and Lee. Um, the ego problem was with his wife that made him quit.
Yeah,
But
I
I'll
get
tell
that.
you what, Aaron's one, and he's still playing up in the Columbus area, making a big name for himself. He's one of the best drummers I've ever heard. I mean, he could cover anything Neil ever put out. He's that fucking good. And I was honored to play with him, but he left.
Okay. Ms. Red Rose wants to know, are there any risks you've taken creatively that paid off?
Even trying, even ever trying, has paid off because it helped me to realize I can write some decent music.
Whether famous or not, who's the most talented person you know personally?
Oh, Jesus. Talented musically?
I just talented. I didn't break it down more than that, so I won't limit
That
you.
I know personally? Can personally be on Clapper as well?
I'll give it that, yes.
Okay. Um, Somebody that's already known, I would say, um, because he's actually the true genius behind the band, is Nick Rhodes from Duran Duran. On Clapper, Britton McKee has an incredible amount of talent. Piano Mike has an incredible amount of talent. Britton is one of my fucking heroes because not only can he play drums like a son of a gun, he's also a really good guitar player. He's also a really good singer.
Yes, he is.
And if I had to choose a drummer that wasn't Aaron, I'd choose Britton hands down. The dude's got a lot of talent, and he doesn't give himself enough credit. Britton's very, very talented.
Becky wants to know if you've ever played over in England.
No, but I wish I could.
Okay. Red Rose says, what's the biggest lesson you've learned in the music industry?
Don't trust labels. I just recently turned down a label. And I turned them down because the only thing they offered me was a 360 deal. A 360 deal, a 360 record label deal is the worst deal that you can sign with a record label. They own all your stuff. They control all your stuff, your music, your videos, your lyrics, everything. And if they want to shelve you, there's nothing you can do about it. And you'll never even be able to play your own music in front of another person ever again.
Right. Jimmy wants to know, what's the best advice you can give to the new younger generation?
Stay indie as long as you can, and never sign a label's contract unless you got a good lawyer with you that's got your back.
Bam says, Osborne or Jagger?
As far as singing,
She
Ozzy
didn't.
Osbourne's a way better singer than Jagger could ever hope to be.
Okay. Red Rose wants to know, how do you handle criticism or negative feedback?
Show me what you got.
That's a good comeback anytime. All right. You're a music fan, not just a performer. What's the first concert you ever attended?
Rush.
Right on. I can't. There's no better to me. My only regret with Rush is that I didn't get to see them more often than I did.
Yeah, I've seen them probably about 15, 20 times. I've lost count, but I saw them a bunch.
Right on. What would you say is the most unusual music instrument you own?
That I own right now? Um, my Steinberger bass, headless.
Right.
I waited years to buy one of these.
Is there a musical instrument that you wanted to learn how to play that you haven't learned to play yet?
I wish I could learn the sax. I tried trombone when I was little, but this is gonna be funny. I can't do a wind instrument because it tickles my lips so bad. Doing the thing,
Yep.
I can't do it. I tried. I wish I could play a sax. No, it tickles my lips too much.
Understand. Steve Deitch says Halford or Dio?
Dio, all day, every day.
Here's a question you may not have been asked before, but maybe you have. Do you like your own voice?
I do.
Yeah, I like your voice too. I'm not a fan of my own voice, but I'm not a singer, so it doesn't matter.
You do well enough. You sound pretty darn good to me, brother. I've heard you sing.
Becky asked, you've been asked this in a variety of ways already, but if you could see any music act, who would it be?
Or live or dead now and then. Pink Floyd, because I never got to freaking see him, and Simple Minds. Yeah, both of those bands. I love Jim Kerr's voice. I love the way he sings. I'd kill to see Pink Floyd, but couldn't do it.
Right on. Red Rose says, what's the biggest lesson you've learned in the music industry?
Don't trust labels. Take a good lawyer with you.
All right, here's an original question. If somebody brought you into their project to set up the soundtrack for a movie, what genre would you want it to be?
Depends on the movie.
I'm asking, what genre of movie would you want to set the soundtrack for?
Oh, man. Oh, if I was... So let me get this straight. If I was offered a chance to, like, score a movie or write the music for a movie...
Yes, sir.
Oh, geez, easy. Sci-fi or action?
Right on. I knew the way I asked it probably wasn't clear, and I apologize for that.
That's fine. No worries.
Rose would like to know, what legacy do you want to leave through your music?
There's a common theme in my music. I'm going to turn my AC off. Hold on. There's a common theme in my music. Be kind, be loving, be open to the bigger picture of what's in this universe and how big it really is. Be open to the possibility that you may have lived multiple lives in multiple bodies and been multiple people. You've been the good guy, you've been the bad guy, and you've been somebody that nobody ever knew of. But no matter what, love each other.
Excuse me. If you could do a TED Talk on any one musical topic, what would it be?
Prog rock, baby.
I'd like to say I'm surprised, but that would just be a lie. Now, you're not a young kid anymore. We both know that.
I'm 60.
Do you see yourself? You're a very young 60. Trust me. I want to know, do you see yourself continuing to evolve as a singer, songwriter, and musician?
Possibly. Depends on how record sales go or music sales go. If nobody wants to buy my stuff, I'm just going to be done with it.
Okay. For you, what is the most rewarding part of being a musician?
Writing something that people connect to. Writing something that when they hear it, it touches them right there.
Yep. Becky wants to know, do you play around with different instruments to try different sounds together?
Oh, absolutely.
I may not have asked this, but can you read music?
Yes.
I know not everyone who's successful as singers or musicians can read music. I don't know if he will, but Jimmy wants to know if you could play a quick tune on the bass that you showed.
Not right now. We've got 8 minutes left.
I know. That's why I said I didn't think there was time. But is there a song that you've heard so much you're tired of hearing it?
Yeah. Pretty much anything by Bon Jovi.
They do get played a lot, that's for sure. I kind of know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask anyway. Your favorite decade of music?
80s.
That would have been my guess if I was to answer for you. So, are you a morning person or are you a night owl?
Both, actually. I've been getting up really, really early just so I can see Promise in the morning before she goes to work. And I'm up late sometimes working on music. I could be up until 2 in the morning recording tracks, and I do it in silent mode.
So, what time of day do you think would you say you're at your most creative?
Probably at night.
Cool. We've touched around this. We haven't ever actually asked it. What's your favorite album of all time?
Oh boy, of all artists of all, oh Jesus. I'm not going to pick the normal Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon album. I have to say, for me personally, my favorite album of all time is probably Roll the Bones by Rush.
My favorite album of all time is a Rush song, but it's a bit older than that one. My favorite's 2112.
Well, I love that too, but yeah, for me, Roll the Bones.
Absolutely. Great album too. So, Paul wants to know, when's the next album due out?
Okay, do you mean redo or one you haven't even heard yet? Or one that hasn't been released yet? I need to know. Because I'm releasing the redone. I'm re-releasing the redone The Dream album first. Then I'm re-releasing Other Worlds, The Clarion Call. After that is going to come Anthems of the Soul.
So he's wanting to know when the Anthems of the Soul will be out. Do you know yet?
Probably, because it costs me money to get them put out, probably June, July, somewhere in there.
Becky, I'm going to ask this, but he's already touched on this earlier in the interview. Becky wants to know if you ever woke up and something came to you in a dream and you needed to get it down on paper right away.
Yes, many times. And I always try to get it down on paper ASAP or start playing it on guitar so I can get the sound of what I was hearing in my dream. Yes, many times.
Now, something totally nothing to do with music. You are as healthy a 60-year-old as I've ever met.
Okay.
What advice would you give to people that want to achieve and stay healthy?
Exercise safely, because the older we get, the harder it is. Eat wisely. Portion control is important. If you need to take supplements or want to take supplements, L-carnitine is good for helping to burn the visceral fat that's almost impossible to burn, like belly fat. If you need to clear out your arteries, nattokinase, at least 10,800 FU. FU does not mean FU. It's a standard of unit.
Right.
Garlic is your best friend for lowering your cholesterol. And if you could take nattokinase and garlic to get your cholesterol down and get your blood flowing better, do that, because you don't want to be on the blood thinners. Being on blood thinners is what killed my grandmother. She died of a nosebleed because she was on blood thinners.
Yeah, I'm happy to be off blood thinners, so I can definitely agree with that.
Yeah, don't be afraid to take supplements, but do your research first and find out actually what's working and work best for you. Exercise as best you can. Dude, I'm 60 and I still look like this. I'm not bragging, but I still have pecs. I wear 29 waist jeans.
Understood. There's a lot more questions that can be asked, but at this point, I'm going to offer you the opportunity to do your shout out for whomever or whatever you want it to be.
She's never going to hear it, but promise. She is. I'm going to cry. She is the most patient, beautiful woman I've ever known in my entire life. I shouted you out before, but I have to shout out Promise. She's patient. She's beautiful. She's kind. She's empathetic. She's sympathetic. She has no problem saying I was wrong. I have no problem saying I was wrong. She's got a sense of humor like you wouldn't believe. She's funny as all get out. But you have to pay attention for the joke. I have to shout out Promise because she has put up with my insanity for the last 28 years, and she still loves me to pieces. And I adore her just more than her. I don't know who loves each other more.
And the fact that she's a vampire is just a nice bonus.
Well, she doesn't age at all. Yeah. Her hair turned gray, but otherwise she's the same woman that I married 28 freaking years ago.
All right, guys, I forgot to do it because we were in the middle of questions, but next week, May 10th, 3 o'clock Central Standard Time, I am scheduled to interview Crow's father. He's not on Clapper. He's going to appear on Crow's account. I'd kind of like Crow to sit in with him and make it a joint interview with him and his dad. We'll see how that goes. It's something different, and I'm always willing to try something different. Ronin, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you taking the time for this interview and for performing that beautiful song for us.
Hey, you know what? It's my pleasure. I hope everybody liked it. Stay tuned for more stuff coming. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to me on Clapper. I appreciate all the love that everybody gives me. You'll never know how much that motivates me. It really does. So thank you, everybody.
I want to shout out Paul for screen recording, as always. Bugs for pinning the questions, because having one person pin them so they don't get overpinned is really a big deal and is really appreciated. I thank my mods for keeping the live clean and moving. And last but not least, Ronin, I got to thank you for being one of the best friends a person could have and one of the best humans I know.
I love you, buddy.
Love you too, brother. And with that, y'all have a wonderful rest of your Sunday.
Everybody take care.